Welcome to the Business Wisdom Podcast. I'm Clive Enover. I'm a business strategist and I help you discover the clarity needed to better identify, engage more effectively, and convert more of your ideal client. For the past 30 years, I've had the privilege of working alongside hundreds of business founders, owners, and corporate leaders. We've navigated the complexities of growing successful businesses, structuring sustainable enterprises, and perhaps most importantly, developing the person at the helm. Growing a business is one thing. Growing into the person who can hold that business, lead it, and thrive within it is another thing entirely. Today, we're looking closely at how we track that personal and professional evolution, measuring leadership growth through milestones. Because it's important to know you are becoming a better leader. How do you know? Is it just about looking at your profit and loss statement? Or is there a deeper, more structural way to gauge your progress? Let's explore why we must move away from a pressure cooker style of leadership, why goals without values are just targets, and how you can use milestone language to not only measure your own growth, but to bring your entire team on the journey with you.
Welcome to the Business Wisdom Podcast, where business strategist Clive Enover shares his inner business wisdom with you. Each episode is packed with his experience to help you grow and develop your own business wisdom. Join Clive as he shares his wisdom with you.
Let's start with the hard truth about modern leadership. For decades, traditional leadership, especially male leadership, has been defined by an expectation to embody relentless strength, confidence, and assertiveness. It was about how much pressure you could withstand. I've written about this before, and it's a trap I see many founders fall into. The reality is this: in leadership, pressure works until it doesn't. Pressure can drive performance for a while. It can create a sense of urgency, high productivity, responsiveness, and quick results. But when pressure becomes the underlying operating system behind how you think, how you communicate, and how you make decisions, the long-term cost is immense. It begins showing up as a lack of clarity, a deteriorating company culture, and a total loss of sustainable performance. Many businesses reach what I call a ceiling of complexity. You build a successful business through sheer force of will, but you're suddenly overwhelmed with decision fatigue and a strategy that feels entirely reactive. You find yourself trying to move forward by only looking backward. So if enduring pressure is not the ultimate measure of leadership growth, what is? It's the ability to set, articulate, and achieve strategic milestones. Leadership growth is measured by your capacity to create a calm, considered environment where progress is methodical, not frantic. Success isn't about one sudden breakthrough moment. It's about the consistency of small, deliberate steps taken in the right direction. As I regularly remind my clients, persistence overcomes resistance every time. But before we talk about how to set these milestones, we have to talk about what they are anchored to. Something I wrote about recently on the Business platform is that goals without values are just targets. Think about that for a moment. Goals don't materialize out of thin air. They shouldn't be plucked from a generic business playbook or copied from someone else's success story. If your goals are going to mean something, if they're going to drive real progress, they need to be rooted in something deeper. They need to be anchored to your values. When you set goals that ignore your values, you end up off course. You burn out, you lose inspiration. Or you arrive at a version of success that simply doesn't feel like your own. You hit the target, but it doesn't feel like a win. So what is a milestone in this context? A milestone is a tangible result. It's a stepping stone. It's a measurable marker on the roadmap that signals you're making progress toward a larger vision that aligns with your values. Real leadership growth happens when you can look back and see that you haven't just been running fast, you've been running in the right direction. When I have a one-on-one strategy session with a client, we never jump straight into goal setting. We start with the values. We uncover not just what they want to achieve, but why it matters. What energizes you? What drives you? What is the broader vision for the life and business you're trying to build? Once that's clear, we embrace the plan, act, evaluate cycle. You plan with intention, you act with consistency, you evaluate to ensure you stay on course. Leadership growth is measured by how disciplined you become at evaluating those milestones rather than just blindly pushing forward. If you're a business owner who feels like you've hit that ceiling of complexity and you're ready to stop just running your business and start truly leading it, I invite you to explore the Business Wisdom Vault. It's an exclusive hub I've designed to give you direct, actionable guidance. Inside, you get access to my practical course library, covering everything from strategy to leadership, along with our monthly live business wisdom sessions where we tackle real-world situations to find solutions through strategic decision-making. It's built to help you cut through the complexity and focus on what truly matters. You can unlock the vault and find out more by visiting my website at enervagroup.com.au. So far, we've established that true leadership growth requires moving away from a pressure-driven operating system towards a milestone-driven system, and that those milestones must be anchored in your core values. Now for the practical side of this. Strategy. There are 5 keys to successful strategy. Objectives, your SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Testing, risks, and stakeholders. Milestones live inside that first key, objectives. Every strategy needs a clear aim. Where are you intending to get to? Is it a new range of products? Streamlining your operation? Achieving that ever-elusive work-life balance? You must get crystal clear on the end goal. And then, and this is the crucial part, set the milestones that need to be achieved on the way to reaching that ultimate destination. This brings us to a vital concept for leaders. You must use milestone language to explain the destination to your team. Why is it that some teams have an incredible drive to succeed, while others are a little lackluster when it comes to cohesion and achievement? I've been asked this big question by many business leaders over the years. The answer is often a lot simpler and more subtle than people will have you believe. Achievement starts from the top. And just to be clear, I'm not overly excited if someone tells me they're motivated to do something, go somewhere, achieve something. The reason for that is rather simple. A person who requires motivation is not inspired, whereas a person who is inspired does not require motivation. When you understand clearly what that means, you have a different, eager, and inspired team around you. As the leader of the business, chances are you have a firm vision of what you want that enterprise to achieve, but a vision can feel a little obscure to your staff. It's a hazy destination that will be reached at some undefined point in the future. The vision is clear if it reflects the outcome of the mission. The mission, expressed well, makes the vision a given, an obvious and valued outcome. Milestones, then, are the tangible, deadline-driven and immediate stepping stones leading directly to the already identified outcome. When you use milestone language, you break down the grand vision into actionable, measurable steps. You know the destination, but have you shared the map with your team? When your team is allowed into your dreams and expectations, and the team shares the vision of the business through clear milestones, they have a clear destination to work towards. Sharing your vision creates buy-in. It allows them to invest emotionally in the outcome. and measuring your growth as a leader directly correlates with how well you foster growth in your people. To hit those milestones, you must embrace a growth mindset within your organisation. If you truly want to motivate your team and reach your strategic objectives, you have to remove the barriers that stand in the way. You have to liberate them from the fear of failure. A growth mindset simply means believing that talents can be developed through hard work, good strategies, and input from others. When a team feels they are part of something bigger, when they can implement ideas without the crippling fear of making a mistake, and when they can collaborate freely, there is absolutely no limit to what they can achieve. Too often, leaders balk at the prospect of team development, fearing a staff member will leave them for something bigger and better once they've leveled up. But experience shows us the exact opposite is true. When you invest in your team members to help them reach their milestones, you engender profound loyalty. A great business leader understands they don't need to be the smartest person in the room. Instead, your growth is measured by your ability to equip yourself with a team of smart individuals and inspire them to bring their best each and every day. Finally, I want to touch on one last milestone of leadership growth, the ability to subtract. As leaders, we often think growth means adding more products, more services, more hours, more stress. But often the most profound milestone you can reach as a leader is creating a stop doing list. By establishing firm boundaries and subtracting the non-essential, you build a powerful foundation for a more focused, impactful year. Subtracting the non-essential is how you create the space to grow. It's how you shift from a reactive state of putting out fires to a proactive state of executing your strategy with clarity. So how do we measure leadership growth? We measure it not by the volume of our voice or the amount of stress we can carry, but by the clarity of our milestones. We measure it by ensuring our goals are deeply anchored in our values, so that when we hit the target, it actually feels like a win. We measure it by our ability to use milestone language to communicate our vision, creating an inclusive, empowered culture where our team is not afraid to fail. And we measure it by our persistence, because as we know, doing business is always going to be the same at its core, but how it's done is constantly changing. And all that sits atop the three pillars of business: mission, vision, and values. Take a moment today to look at your own goals. Are they just targets? Or are they true milestones on a path you actually want to be walking? Thank you for joining me today on the Business Wisdom Podcast. If you'd like to explore these concepts further, read my latest articles, or watch more content on strategy and leadership, you can visit my website at enervagroup.com.au or find me on YouTube at Clive Enerver. Until next time, plan with intention, act with consistency, and evaluate to stay on course. I'm Clive Enerver. I'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining Clive. Remember to subscribe for more business wisdom. Want to work with Clive? Book a discovery call with him at enervagroup.com.au.